Damn. Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be talking about the shocking truths of the royal family. Before I begin this video, I want you to think to yourself, how does the royal family benefit me? What do I love about the royal family? What stands out about the royal family to me? Why do I need them to rule the monarchy? Why do we need the royals? I want you to think about that. And then watch this video and then see what you think. People gotta be spilling the truth out here, you know? What the hell is going on in our world? But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and don't forget to like and subscribe. So, to begin the video, I want to talk about the Queen's key points. How much is the Queen worth? Have a guess. What was it? Millions? Billions? 17 trillion. She has enough money to stop poverty, world poverty. She's got that much money. She could stop the world poverty. There wouldn't be people starving, dying on the streets, children dying on the streets, homelessness, people really struggling to even live. And this woman is sitting on 17 trillion pounds, and that's $13 trillion. Whoa, people. Alright, so that's point number one. Point number two, wait, oh my god, you're gonna laugh. When I read this, I was like, what? Not only has this woman had a 66% payment rise, she is gonna get a refurbishment on the Buckingham Palace. And guess whose pockets that's coming out of? The taxpayer. So she's got £1 trillion. What? Bit confused. So what power does the Queen have over England and the world? A lot of people think she don't really have much power, that she don't really get involved. Some people think she just dips in here and there, but no, I will read you out her powers. I will read you out her rights. What power does the Queen have? She has the power to enact laws in Her Majesty's name, power to declare a state of emergency and issue proclamations, if I've said that right, the power to command the armed forces. She can declare war through the Prime Minister and the President without agreement of Parliament, and the power to pardon convicted criminals. Her carriage that she likes to sit in and get drove around everywhere, 4-ton solid gold. And until 1992, she was tax-free. She didn't have to pay any tax. With all that money, no tax until 1992. And the thing is, she don't want people to know about her wealth. The royal family don't want us to know really about anything. But she really doesn't want us to know about the wealth. It's to keep it in secrecy so we aren't like, oh my god, blah, blah, blah. We just allow it. We don't actually know. Because we think, yeah, millions, probably billions, no, trillion. And the other point that everyone likes to say is that the monarchy, if we got rid of the monarchy, England would collapse. And statistically, the Buckingham Palace isn't even in the top 20. So, the tourists, we've got so much history in England. So much history. There's castles, everything's everywhere. It's not just in London or where the Queen is. There's so much history of different types of stuff that's gone on. So now I'm going to delve into who really are the royal family. Like, what is their background? So in 1918, King George V, when the World War I was coming to an end, he wanted to save his family business and stay in power. The thing is about that is they're German.
Family which triumphed is basically German. They are seated on almost every throne in Europe. They are the Saxe-Coburg-Gotha-Battenberg bloodline. They raise their children without love or compassion, breeding each successive generation to be at the head of a military establishment who keep an angered peace by use of fear, surveillance, and war. Contrary to what the royal spin doctors have written in the school history books, Queen Victoria was not popular. She was often hissed in public, and there were no less than 7 attempts to kill her. Keeping the populace ignorant, using adults and children alike as virtual slaves in workhouses, providing no adequate protection against hypothermia, working every man and woman to exhaustion, and imposing a crippling poll tax was the modus operandi of Queen Victoria and all her relatives sitting on the thrones across Europe. So-called Victorian values allowed children to be used as slave labor. Inhumane slums and widespread poverty was common across the whole of Europe right up until the 1970s.
And they wanted to be in power in England and to be German, especially after the whole Nazi and Jew stuff that's been going on. British people weren't so keen on Germans back then. So they thought, well, we need to be liked by the British public, so we need to change our name.
They were known as the Saxe-Coburg Gothas. Notice that we hear their names. Prince William. You never hear his last name, do you? The slave public, many of them in England, who support these people, don't even know their last names because they don't want you knowing their last names. 3 times in the last 3 years, the Parliament in Canada hasn't done what the Queen of England wants, so she suspended them, shut down the Parliament. Happened in the late 70s in Australia. This is a tyrannical group pushing eugenics, population reduction, all the carbon taxes.
So, yeah, change the name to Windsor.
Yeah, the British public fell for it.
So the royals believe that they have God-given blood, like it's God-given. So they must be privileged to wealth, power and hunger and greed. They are privileged to that because they believe they are God-given. And dating back in history, the royals would have killed anyone who questioned their royalty. If you had me coming up to them going, I don't think you is to be royal, sunshine. And Prince Philip of Edinburgh, his last name's actually Mountbatten.
Prince Philip was one of the key founders of the Green Movement. He said that if he were to be reincarnated, he'd want to be reincarnated into a deadly virus to solve the overpopulation problem. Well, the point is that the Green Movement was founded by those in the eugenics movement. This is Hitler Nazi race science, and this will destroy Africa. Can anyone make a comment?
The burgers might have heard the fact when Prince Philip actually said that he wants to get rid of 85% of the population. He said that if it doesn't happen in his lifetime, he wants to come back as a virus and do the job himself. Nice. He wants to get rid of these he called useless food eaters.
Guess what? Him and the Queen actually share the same great-grandmother. And they share the same great-grandfather, as Queen Elizabeth's father is King George V, making Queen and Philip second cousins. So Diana and Charles, I can't even say his name properly, Charles? Diana and Charles, that was an arranged marriage, basically. It was an arranged marriage, so the Rothschilds and the Goldsmiths bloodline can connect with the royal bloodline. And I've done a video about Diana's death and the conspiracy behind it, but yeah, Diana speaks out a lot about not being happy in her relationship, how Charles' behaviour was towards her. A very savage thing is that she tried to kill herself while she was pregnant with Prince William.
In November of 1981, the palace announced that the princess was pregnant. Diana's struggle with her health proved doubly difficult.
Sick the whole time, bulimia and morning sickness. People tried to put me on pills to stop me being sick. I refused to take the responsibility that if the child appeared handicapped, I wasn't going to take responsibility. Charles said I was crying wolf, and I said I just felt so desperate and I was crying my eyes out. And he said, I'm not going to listen, you're always doing this to me. He said, I'm going riding now. So I threw myself down the stairs, bearing in mind I was carrying a child. Queen comes out, absolutely horrified, shaking, she's so frightened. I knew I wasn't going to lose the baby, quite bruised around the stomach. And Charles went out riding, And when he came back, you know, it was just dismissal, total dismissal.
It was one of several half-hearted suicide attempts she would make over the next decade. She revealed on the tapes that she had tried to cut her wrists and had thrown herself into a glass cabinet at Kensington Palace.
I was very ill. We were trying to hide that from everybody. I had to come down for treatment because I was so depressed, and I was trying to cut my wrist with razor blades.
And she recalled another incident.
After 5 years of being married, my sister Jane came up to see me, and I had a V-neck on and shorts. She said, "Dutch, what's that marking on your chest?" And I said, "Oh, it's nothing." She said, "What is it?" And the night before, I wanted to talk to Charles about something. He wouldn't listen to me, he said I was crying wolf. So I picked up his penknife off his dressing table and scratched myself heavily down my chest and my both thighs. There was a lot of blood, and it hadn't made any reaction whatsoever.
Suicide attempts are desperate calls for help.
So, in 1980s, Diana had an affair with a man called James Hewitt. And that was before Harry was born. And it is believed that it is Harry's real dad, because if you've noticed in the photo, Harry don't look like him, you know? He don't look like him. He looks like James Hewitt. Come on, if we're all being honest here, not like fannying about. He's got ginger hair, looks like James Hewitt.
Did your relationship go beyond a close friendship?
Yes, it did. Yes.
Were you unfaithful?
Yes, I adored him. Yes, I was in love.
Were they threatening?
Yes, they were. Inasmuch as they said that it was not conducive to my health to continue the relationship.
James Hewitt says he also received warnings from Diana's personal police protection officers and members of the royal household. He says that he even had a conversation with a member of the royal family.
So this is very weird, and it makes sense. And because they are German, it makes sense. And yeah. So they set their wedding day on the 29th of April 2011 at 11 a.m. That is the same date that Hitler and his wife Eva got married. And it was the 66th anniversary on that day of Hitler and his wife Eva.
No, they wouldn't have thought of that, would they?
So at Kate and William's wedding, there was Rothschilds invited. There were a few people that were on the guest list that you would question.
Uncle George. And to watch U.S. television fawning, Fox, CNN, CBS, all of them. Oh, it's so wonderful. No one in America can wait until next week. The way they're hyping it.
1 week until the royal wedding. This is exciting stuff. I mean, it's hard to, I mean, the energy is just palpable.
Young couples get married, they're just hoping that some bank will be nice enough to give them a mortgage.
Yeah.
These folks have a number of palaces to pick from.
NBC News is launching a free royal wedding app for the iPad.
This is truly a love story that captures everybody's attention.
This goes back to Edward Bernays 100 years ago, saying, look, to make politicians and royalty popular, we'll have Hollywood stars come to banquets and events with them. We'll have music stars. We'll have other people go there to basically make these elites be seen as celebrities themselves.
And let's not forget that the Queen and the royal family are pro-Hitler. Prince Philip has family members that married Nazis and were Nazis. And there's a really weird thing that went on, you know. The Queen had 2 cousins that she didn't ever speak of. She said they died.
Every family has secrets they would rather the world not know, even the most famous of them all. At every family occasion over the past 70 years, 2 of the Queen's cousins have been absent from the feast, declared dead to family and society.
We were sworn to secrecy. This is something that we didn't talk about.
All the staff were put on, you know, be quiet, don't say anything.
For decades, the cousins remained hidden in an institution for so-called mental defectives.
It just seemed a waste of life. This way, I couldn't put a child of mine into a place like that, whatever they was going to be like.
Many thousands of others, condemned as idiots and imbeciles, shared their fate and were hidden out of sight and out of mind.
In those days, people weren't interested in learning disability people. They were just put there because of shit.
There was no connection with the royalty, and that's no credit to them. They could have given her a very lavish funeral, really, but they didn't.
But the royal secret was exposed.
Afternoon, ladies. Nice to see you all.
A private investigator's hidden camera revealed the truth.
Where's Catherine? Somebody said I should have a word with her this afternoon.
Catherine Bowes-Lyon, niece to the Queen Mother and cousin to the Queen, is still alive today.
So the royals have a lot of connection with the paedophile rings. There's a lot in the news that you probably haven't seen. And as we know, the royal family were very close with Jimmy Savile and a few others, like, what's his name, Ralph Harris? Yeah. Prince Philip's uncle, George Mountbatten, who became Prince Philip's legal guardian, he got caught with child pornography and bestiality. So I have spoken about this one in my other conspiracy video, but I want to mention it again because this is involved in the whole paedophile thing. So one day the Queen and Prince Philip went to a school, and at this school obviously there's children. One child said that when they were there that they found it quite weird that the Prince Philip and the Queen was on their own, like they didn't have fans or anyone around them like filming this, because yeah, usually when the Queen and Prince Philip appear somewhere there's like a camera crew like visiting the school. And they also said they had to kiss her white boot when she was present. So anyway, she took 10 children from that school, 7 boys and 3 girls. 2 of those boys were brothers, and they were aged from 6 to 14. So there was a survivor called William Coombs. He was a witness and he was meant to stand trial to get the royal family done for this. Shortly after William Coombs was meant to stand trial, he died from unknown causes.
In a nutshell, what happened was I was letting people speak from the pulpit about the crimes I'd seen in the residential school, the murders and that. I also found out about the land deals that were happening where the church was selling off native land to big logging companies for kickbacks. And I wrote a letter about that to the church. I was fired without cause and eventually thrown out of the church without any due process at all. You know, but that one thing led to another, and I began to work a lot more with the survivors after that, the eyewitnesses to these crimes.
The Queen doesn't even get done. And I don't know if many people have seen this, so now I'm going to insert a clip which you might find a bit weird.
Helt annan tid, eller hur? Mm. Du, kolla. Är han naken?
And you may say, well, they don't seem like that in the movies, like the Queen, the Crown. Hollywood want to try and erase the history, the true history of the royals, because they're all connected. Everyone is connected in power. The Illuminati, people in power are that high up, they're all connected, and they have the power to get rid of information. They've got the power to give information, false information through the media. There's so much that we don't know. I think they're painted in such a light that's very false. So yeah, that's some information about the royals if you didn't know already. If you do know already, then that's just a reminder from me. If you don't know and then thought that was interesting, then yeah. Remember, I'm doing this for entertainment purposes and just for a little bit of opening that mind, you know? So I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. And also, if you've got any other conspiracy videos you want me to do, then let me know.